when you're realizing not everyone's as considerate as you. I mean, there are times where you feel like you're trying to do the right thing for everybody, for the world. You're trying to contribute to society as minimally, but as, carefully as possible, right? So that means trying to do things that will help people out for both of your benefit, really. It's like, it's the equivalent of like, you get on the bus or something, or you go on some sort of public transportation, right? And you don't blast your music out loud, do you? No, you get headphones so that way you can listen quietly to yourself, sitting in your own seat, doing your own thing, right? Like that's being considerate. That's like, you don't want to be an inconvenience to somebody else who's like, maybe they want to listen to quiet. Maybe they just want to sit down and read a book. And when you're blasting your music out loud, it just kind of like ruins the whole thing, right? Like those are the moments where it's like, this guy could easily get headphones to listen to his music, but instead he's going to blast the music. And, I've always realized this, but I'm just trying to like reiterate it right now. There are those moments where you just see people that have options. They have choices. They could make a better choice for you and for them. You know what I mean? And instead, they choose the weird option. They choose the option that's just kind of like, what are we doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they choose the option that kind of makes you look at them and kind of be like, why did you know what I mean? So let me paint a picture for you, okay? I go to the gym, okay? Now, let's say, for whatever reason, okay, let's say you go on, what are those, why am I blanking on the name? Treadmill. Okay, darn it, treadmill. Okay, you go on the treadmill, okay? Now, let's say that your whole row is empty, okay? So you choose any random treadmill, okay? It could be anywhere. Now, let's say there are 10 treadmills in one row, all right? In that one row, you choose the one, let's say dead set in the middle. You choose like number 5 or number 6, right? And then that way, there's like a good space between you and the other whatever, right? Now, you choose that one in the middle. So it's empty. You're the only one on the treadmill. Somebody else comes along and they have the choice to choose 1, 2, 3, not 4. All right, not 4. All right. Then there's you. Then there's 6. Then there's 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So 4 and 6. That is like I don't want to say a mandatory. All right. They could definitely choose those treadmills. I'm just saying that it's like, out of all the treadmills you could possibly choose, you're going to choose the one right next to me. You're going to choose the one that's right there next to you. Right. It's like, why? What? It's like you're making the wrong choice here. All right. There's literally nothing else going on. There's literally no reason for you to pick the spot right next to me. I don't care if that's your lucky treadmill that you always run on. There are any number of other choices for you to choose. Now, I will say, I haven't done that specifically where like one person is like in like one row and then like I choose the one next to him. I never do that. Okay. But I have been in a situation where the treadmill is kind of full, you know what I mean? People are on there and then I have to make a choice between one treadmill or the other. And either choice I make, I'm going to be right next to someone. So, I usually make my choice and then I do my exercise. I do my thing. You know what I mean? I don't lament on it too long. I don't like think about it so much, but I'm just kind of like, man, it's just kind of like, man, awkward that I have to be right next to the stranger doing this. But it's kind of like, that's just the way that it is, But anyways, I chose that because I have no other choice. But it's like, if you have the choice, you could do that. So that happened to me. And I was just kind of like, you literally had any other choice. You had so many other options, other great treadmills to choose from. Okay. And by the way, the 10 row treadmill, that's not even the one row. All right. There's like a second row. There's more to choose from. Okay. So I'm being very generous here. So then I think to myself, I'm just like, I kind of give them like a look. Like, I'm not a look. Like, they don't see me, but I kind of give them like a side eye. I'm like, dude, like, you could have, like, I don't know how much I can reiterate this. You could have made another choice. Like, there's literally nothing else going on here. I don't know what you're thinking about when you kind of just choose the one right next to me, but it's just like, at least give me the one treadmill space. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, if somebody else needs that treadmill and they come in, fine, accept it. You know what I mean? They have to choose that treadmill if they want to run or do an incline walk or do whatever they want to do on there, okay? But for you to actively choose that spot right next to me, it's just like, do we not understand the same etiquette, the same kind of rules here? It just kind of was like, I was looking at them and I was like, this is a grown woman. It was a woman doing this, okay? And no judgment, you know what I mean? If it was a guy, I would have felt the same way. All right, not that I felt like uncomfortable or weird. I was just like, you could have made another choice. I didn't understand it. I was like, is it wrong for them to choose that? No. Did it bother me? Not really. I mean, I just want to know the mental process. I was just kind of like, that's a weird choice to make. You know what I mean? Just like right next to me. I don't know why you chose that, but I was just like, okay, whatever, fine. I'll just, do my thing. Not really worry about it. But isn't that just a little bit like, can't you use context clues? It's kind of like, oh, I don't want to be right next to this person because they're doing their own thing. I'm going to give them some space. I'm going to, boundaries, right? I'm not going to choose the one right next to them. I'm going to choose the one over. You know what I mean? So that way there's like a little space, a little gap between us. It's like, it's like going to the urinal and going straight for the one in the middle when there's like somebody on, either side of the urinal. It's like, dude, you have more urinals that way, and yet you actively chose the one right next to me. Like, isn't that just that's sus? You know what I mean? That's just like, why, But anyways, I was just kind of like, that was weird. Did I really care all that much? I mean, in the moment, I was just kind of like, all right, dude, I mean, whatever. But then, I get on with it. I'm trying to think, what other they also do it. Okay, this happens. I don't know if maybe this one's a lot more universal, but in parking lots, dude, okay, so you have a choice to make. You could choose now, there is a difference between choosing a parking spot right next to a car and the difference between there only being one parking spot available next to a bunch of cars. So same thing, okay? Only difference is with cars. When you go to the gym early in the morning, that's like prime. You can definitely choose any parking spot you want. Like if you get there really early, like opening, like a 5 a.m. or whatever, you can get any parking spot you want. That's like the perfect time to go there, okay? Now, because you go there so early with let's say any other number of people, then, more than likely you're going to get a lot of people kind of huddled closer to the front, okay? Now, this is just me here, okay? I actively choose the one that's kind of further away, but just as close, you know what I mean? It's like somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? And I choose it because it gives me like a little bit of car space, like there's a gap in between the cars, so that way I can like freely back out and move away and do all this other stuff, right? Just so it's a clean getaway, you know what I mean? I don't have to worry about a car to the right of me, a car to the left of me, and all this other stuff, okay? Why do other people not, they don't get it. They don't understand. Now, it is parking, okay? And I don't want to say it's like a rule that you have to choose that, all right? It's not a rule, especially not in like parking. It's like you get what you get and you go where you want to go, you know, because I've done that many times where it's like, oh, this is a parking spot really close. I'm going to take it. You know what I mean? I don't care who's around me. I don't care what's going on. I'm going to take that parking spot. But I just think it's weird that it's like you get to the spot and it's just like you don't have to park next to me. I don't know, dude. It's just kind of weird. It's like, yes, you can do it, but it's like, you know, where do we draw the line? You know what I mean? I just don't know. I think it's just kind of some sort of unwritten rule, some sort of road etiquette of like, hey, you're parked right next to my car when you could have parked right over there. Yes, it would have been a couple of extra steps further from the store or from this place or anywhere else you were going to go, but you know, in the grand scheme of life, that is not going to be a big difference, you know what I mean? But instead, you chose to park next to me. And I didn't particularly like that, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think I'm just being a little overly judgmental. Maybe that's something that I can focus on a lot more than controlling what other people do. Because it's just like, yes, you can choose it, but I don't know. I thought that was just really funny. What's another example of something like that? I mean, other examples could be like, well, I'm trying to think here. Because nowadays everything is kind of like you pay for the spot, you pay for the seat, right? So like if you go on an airplane, you don't have the same kind of like choose, right? You just kind of like go onto the to pay for your ticket or whatever, and then they kind of just assign you the seat. So it's like, okay, this is for sure where I'm sitting, and there's going to be other people around, more than likely. So it's just kind of like, yeah, that's the way that it goes. They also do that for the movie theaters. Well, at least in the movie theater I go to, it's like it's assigned seating, or you can choose the seats so that way you can sit in the right spot. What about... I want to say like a train, but I think I kind of already made that kind of analogy or metaphor in equivalence to the guy playing the speaker on the but what about like those people? Oh my gosh, you see those people that are like singing on the airplane? Dude, I watch those people and I'm just like, why are you doing this? Like if they did that to me on a flight, like if I was on a flight, right? And I was on there for however many hours, and then all of a sudden this guy pulls out a guitar and a whole choir comes out and they start singing whatever, I'm going to be like, I'm going to look at them point blank and I'm going to be like, as soon as they finish their first song, they're going to be like, da 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 da, da 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 da, and then they finish it. And then everybody like gives like a pity clap because nobody actually wants it. I'm going to look at them dead in the eye and it'll be like, yeah, could you shut up? Oh my gosh. You know, and then everybody cheers me on, and then we're just kind of like high-fiving each other. We're like, yeah, shut up. And then somebody else tells them to shut up, and then we're just like, we break their guitar on the plane, and then now it's like Dude, doesn't the guitar like have metal and stuff? Like, isn't that, couldn't that be a weapon? Like, why are we allowing this on the plane? So then, and then we start like fighting each other, and then it's like, and then I get arrested. That's the problem. Is that like, because I started it, but because I told them to shut up on this plane, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. Like, no, no, you ruined everybody's flight, okay? Yeah, that baby was crying, but the baby is a baby, all right? You just got to accept it, okay? You, on the other hand, are adults, and you chose to come onto this plane and ruin everybody's flight just so that way you could play the tambourine and the guitar and those fake little, bongos or whatever. Like, what are we doing here? You know what I mean? That that would be kind of funny if somebody just started playing bongos on the airplane, just bo 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 bo. But yeah, dude, I thought about that. Oh my gosh, I would kind of like that interaction just to see what that experience would be like. But at the same time, I don't want to get like arrested or be made a flight risk. You know what I mean? And I also don't want to hurt anybody. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to smash anybody's guitar or punch somebody because they were ruining it. I was just a little over exaggeration, you know what I mean? Just a little excitement to throw into the story, into the scenario. But then there's the subway. You see those people on the subway doing like those dance routines and they have like the music playing. It's like, yeah, they're going a little over the top, but maybe your next stop. Sorry. Maybe your next stop is going to get off and you're going to be fine. You know what I mean? Like, there's a little bit more flexibility to it. When you're on the plane, when you're in the air, you're in the air. You have no other choices, okay? So what I think about that, those kinds of like, when I think about that kind of scenario or that kind of moment to myself, I'm like, do you not understand other people's, are you not considerate of what everybody else on this plane thinks about? Like, that's why I like those new parents when they bring a baby on the flight and they kind of like pass a note around or whatever. And they're like, hey guys, we're so sorry about this. You know what I mean? It's our first flight. The baby's going to be trouble. We just know it, you know what I mean? They always are. They always scream and they always cry when they're on the plane. So how about this? Everybody just, take it easy, relax. Here's a lollipop or whatever they pass around or whatever. And we thank you so much for being considerate. We thank you so much for your compassion, for your understanding. Like, that's the way to do it. Like, that's a way to, like, get everybody on board and just be like, yeah, it's a baby and it's going to scream, it's going to cry on the plane, but at least we all know that they know that we're going to be, we're going to be the ones that really suffer, at the end of the day. But thank you for your note. You know what I mean? Just that little self-awareness, just that little, hey, this is going to happen, We don't like it any more than you do, and we wish that this wouldn't happen. But here you go. You know what I mean? We care about you, and thank you for your understanding and for, you know what I mean? Let's have a great flight. Like, that's the way to do it. Now, these people, if they offered everybody, like, hey, we're going to play on the plane, are you okay with that? Like, if they asked, everybody would say no. I would tell them absolutely not. I don't care who you are, all right? You could be the greatest musician to ever live. I would not allow you to play on the plane. Just let me listen to my headphones. Just let me be in peace. But instead, you want to do this to me. You know, it's just like, it's so, why? Now, let me think of other inconsiderate moments in life. Um, I mean, I want to say the bathroom, but I kind of already made the urinal kind of thing. But it's just sometimes people are just weird. You know what I mean? Like, people just don't think sometimes. Like, you remember when everybody was doing those devious licks in like school bathrooms? Like, are you out of your mind? Like, I remember I watched that and I was like, dude, like, okay, yes, people were doing some dirty things in the bathroom. All right, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie. People be doing some dirty things in the bathroom, right? That's why I never really used the bathroom in school or anything like that. Like, I kind of just like, I would hold it in, or like if I really needed to go, I would like rush. I would do it really quickly. You know what I mean? It's just like it was like the equivalent of going to like a what's it called? A gas station bathroom. You ever been to a gas station bathroom where it's like, man, I gotta get out of here before I get a disease off this toilet or whatever, you know what I mean? Or like if I step like 1 foot, if I take one step closer to this urinal, I'm gonna step in like some pee or whatever. It's like I'm gonna slip and fall on whatever's on the floor here, and I don't want to take the chance. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. But for the most part, the school bathrooms were pretty clean. They had napkins and air dryers, and they had the whole thing, you know? But then kids started stealing like mirrors. They started stealing like soap dispensers. They started stealing the hand towel, the paper towel dispensers. They started stealing just about everything they could in the bathroom, and they were putting it in their backpacks. And you were just like, they called it a devious lick. Now, in retrospect, is that hilarious and funny? Yeah, that's pretty hilarious. I won't lie. Is it inconsiderate, and does it like kind of mess up the people who have to go to the bathroom? Yeah, a little bit. But going to the bathroom is just like a basic human. It's a need. It's just it's something that we do. So it's just like, that's why I guess it was always kind of weird when they were like, all right, you get 3 bathroom passes this semester. It's like, what are you talking about? If I have to go pee, you're going to let me stay here and basically pee myself just because you want to have like bathroom passes? Like, I shouldn't have to ask you to go to the bathroom. If I have to go to the bathroom, I'm going to the bathroom. Like, and I wouldn't abuse it. Okay? Now, I'm pretty sure some other students would abuse it, but I wouldn't abuse it, okay? And then they would send the security to like the bathrooms to like check it out and be like, what's going on up in here? And it's like kids vaping and whatnot. But anyways, what I think is just people will do anything for social media likes and clicks and whatever. I mean, is it wrong? Yes. We've already acknowledged this, all right? I think it's kind of funny because it's like, it's inconsiderate of like the school, I guess, or like of the establishment, but it's not like really a threat to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think that's a case by, if you use the bathroom at school or like wherever you go to, like if you go to like a work bathroom and you have to use it to like, you drink too much water and you're like, I know I need to use the bathroom. Then it's like, and then somebody messes up, you're like, you can't go to the bathroom anymore. It's like, well, damn, like now I have to go outside or whatever. I don't know. I think that's a little weird, but what I'm trying to get at here is people are not thinking about you. They don't care. They're just kind of like, I'm just going to do whatever I want and that's going to be the end of it. It's like, what? Dude, you be considerate of other people. Think, you know what I mean? And I try it, you know what I mean? Maybe sometimes I'm not as good at it. I don't know. I do it. I think I do it perfectly, but you know, there could be a moment, like a moment or two where, you know, I'm inconsiderate or I do something, I guess, a little selfishly. I don't know. Anyways, what are other inconsiderate moments? I mean, there's those people that cut the lines. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're waiting in line, they cut you or whatever. It's not a big inconvenience. It's just kind of like, now they're going to go ahead of me a little bit sooner. And I'd say it's not that big of a deal because it's just like, eventually I'm going to get there. Yes, I did just get my time wasted a little bit more, but it's like, it is what it is, you know? Let me think here. Inconsiderate. I mean, there are some inconsiderate moments when driving, but overall, nothing that like really upsets me as much as like people just like breaking the law, I guess, or just like over speeding. It's like, whoa, dude, take it easy. But then when I speed, it's just kind of like, dude, move faster. I don't know. I just want everybody to get out of my way. Let me think of another inconsiderate moment. Let's see. Maybe at like a restaurant? No, not really. I mean, there's never been anybody. Well, okay. Maybe if like somebody's having an argument during dinner, it's like, yo, dude, like keep this at home, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, not, you know, you shouldn't be yelling at, you know, your partner or whoever, but it's just kind of like, hey man, this is a public place here. All right, you're kind of going crazy on this woman or this man here, you know what I mean? In this public place here. Just kind of read the room a little bit and kind of understand that nobody really wants you to scream and yell like this. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think what else is there. I mean, I want to say work, but everybody's jobs differ so... I mean, the range is crazy, you know? Everybody's different. But, oh, you know what? In terms of food, okay? I saw a video of this woman. She's a nurse, okay? She works the night shift. And she essentially says, so I bring lunch from home, okay? I work the night shift. I bring lunch from home so that way I can eat it during my break, during my lunch break, you know? And she says, every day somebody takes it. Every day somebody opens the fridge and eats food that's actively not theirs. So you know what she did? She put laxatives in there. So it's just like, why, you know what I mean? It's just like easily avoidable if you just didn't eat it, okay? But somebody ate it. And she's like, I'm going to be keeping an eye on this bathroom all night long. And sure enough, some other woman was like getting the stomach, the rumbly tumblies, and she had to go into the bathroom multiple times that night. And she was just like, so yeah, essentially, I know who did it now, and keep your hands off of my food. You know, maybe this will teach them the lesson that they shouldn't eat other people's food. So that's just another. Why do people do that? Why do people eat other people's like food in like the fridge? Is that like, I don't know how common that is, but I guess it's common enough where it's like people will talk about it, because that's not the first time I've heard of something like that happening. That's the first time I've seen it like recorded and like captured, you know, like she put laxatives in there and then she caught the person going into the bathroom. but it's not like the first time I've heard of somebody like taking their food or whatnot from like the community fridge or like the work fridge or whatever. I don't know what the right term is for that. I guess if you bring something and it's like, oh, just put it in the kitchen and then when you're ready to eat it, you can come and get it later. But I don't know. I guess I'm more of like in the head or the mentality of like, if I bring something to eat or like a paper bag or whatever, I'm just gonna hold on to it. You know what I mean? I don't know why I would put it away in the kitchen. I'd just like put it underneath my desk or whatever and just like keep it right next to me. I don't know. That's just me though, right? But maybe it is like just out of sight, out of mind, and then it's like, oh, it's break time. I'm just gonna go to the spot and eat there. Or maybe if you have like a locker. I used to have lockers at my job. It's like you just have a locker, you get a lock, you put your stuff in there, and then when it's time, you take it out, you do what you gotta do. Anyways, in conclusion, when you're realizing other people aren't as considerate as you, I want to say not be judgmental, but sometimes, these people, they just make weird choices. I think just like, let it go, you know what I mean? If it's not like a huge inconvenience, right? If it's like a huge inconvenience, obviously stick up for yourself or like speak up and be like, listen, you're really being inconveniencing me right now and I don't like it and I won't stand for it. Stop it. Then it's just kind of like, yes, speak up for yourself. But if it's just like small things like what happened to me, you know what I mean? Like that's a small thing, you know what I mean? And it's not even really inconsiderate all that much. It's not like a huge inconvenience. It's just kind of like, why did you choose that? You know, you had so many other options. So, I don't know. I feel like you should just kind of like let it go, let it wash over you, you know what I mean? Let it pass through you, let it just do its thing, right? Eventually you'll get over it. Like I got over it. I don't really care all that much about it, but I just the fact that happened or that happens every so often, you know? It happens every now and then. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does happen, I'm just kind of like, you could have chosen anything else. And then when it's like you had no other choice but to choose that, I'm just like, yeah, you know, it is what it is. It's cool, you know what I mean? Fine, come be right next to me. It's cool, you know what I mean? You're gonna get a good workout in. Like I'm cool like that, you know what I mean? But anyways, when you're realizing other people aren't as considerate as you, just establish boundaries, communicate with them, and let them know, hey, you're inconveniencing me. You know, give me my space. Otherwise, something's gonna happen. I don't know what you would personally do. You know what I mean? If you would personally punch them, all the more to you. You know what I mean? If you would, you know what I mean, go to an authority figure of some kind, maybe or whatever. All more power to you. If you find another way to like inconvenience them, then do what you got to do. You know what I mean? I'm on your side here. All right. No matter what it is, I've got your back. So, and if they say, oh, why did you do that? Oh, who said you could do that? Nobody said you could. Tell them I told you that you could do that. All right. No, you know what? If anybody tells you anything, just refer them to this podcast and just tell them, yeah, listen to what this guy says. And it's like, yeah, this right here, this moment right here, you other person, okay? You're inconveniencing this man and or woman and or others, you know what I mean? Other they, thems or whatever, right? What you have to do is back up, rethink your thought process and say to yourself, am I doing something to inconvenience this person? And if the answer is anything other than no, then you need to back off and give them some space, okay? Yes, I'm talking to you, okay? So anyways, refer them to this podcast and just let them know what's up, okay? And if they have a problem with it, hey, guess what? I don't care. So anyways, thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you guys all next time. Thank you.